Welcome to my channel. Subscribe and enjoy my new stories every day. The first thing I noticed was the dress. It was hanging on the back of the bedroom door, its smooth fabric shimmering slightly in the soft light from the hallway. I hadn't seen it before, not in the months or even years since we'd moved in together. It wasn't the kind of dress Sarah would usually wear, too tight, too bold. My wife preferred a softer, more understated style, especially for a bachelorette party. She'd mentioned it briefly a few nights ago, something about an old college friend, but I'd barely registered the details. I'd been busy, preoccupied, and she had never given me any reason to doubt her. Until tonight. There was something else. A bottle of perfume sat on the dresser, brand new, unopened. The name sounded expensive, and from the size of the bottle, it probably cost more than I made in a week. But that wasn't the part that worried me. Sarah didn't wear perfume, at least not this kind. She preferred something light and floral, something she said wasn't overpowering. The bottle on the dresser had a sleek, black design, the kind meant to seduce, to entice. I should have let it go. I should have trusted her, like I always had. But the dress, the perfume, they didn't add up. She'd left the house just an hour earlier, a quick peck on the cheek, her phone clutched tightly in her hand as she hurried out the door. "Don't wait up," she'd said, a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "It's nothing," I told myself. But something about the way she moved, the way her eyes flickered when I asked about the party, gnawed at me. I sat there, staring at that dress for far too long, the clock ticking louder in the stillness of our home. My mind raced. And then, in a moment of sheer impulse, I grabbed my phone and opened her recent messages. I hesitated, then scrolled through the conversation. It seemed innocent enough at first. The group chat with her girlfriends was filled with the usual banter, outfit choices, drinks, and excitement for the night. But then I saw his name. Ryan. My best friend. My brother-in-arms since high school. He was supposed to be at his own bachelor party tonight, guys only. But there he was, sending texts to Sarah. Casual at first, but then his tone shifted. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Missed you last time. Missed you last time." What the hell was that supposed to mean? My heart pounded, my fingers moving faster. There were more texts. "Don't forget the dress. We'll make sure he doesn't find out." I clenched my jaw. The pieces were coming together, forming a picture I didn't want to believe. I grabbed my security guard uniform from the closet, pulling on the crisp white shirt, the cap, and the sunglasses. The plan was reckless, but I couldn't sit here and do nothing. If something was happening, I needed to see it with my own eyes. I would blend in, unnoticed. Security guards were everywhere at clubs, invisible to the guests but always watching. I drove to the club in silence, my knuckles white against the steering wheel. My mind raced with possibilities. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe there was an explanation. I wasn't sure if I was hoping for one, or bracing myself for the worst. The club was packed when I arrived. I flashed a quick nod to the real security team at the door, and they waved me in without a second glance. Inside, the music throbbed through the floor, the lights flashing erratically. I pushed through the crowd, scanning the faces, searching for Sarah. My heart hammered in my chest as I wove through the bodies, careful to stay in the shadows. Then I saw her. Sarah stood near the bar, laughing, her body pressed against Ryan's. He had his arm around her waist, his hand low on her back, his lips dangerously close to her ear. She wasn't just laughing, she was glowing. That glow she used to save for me. Something inside me snapped. I walked closer, still unnoticed, blending into the background, the perfect ghost. I could hear them now, their voices muffled by the music but clear enough. Ryan's voice was low, intimate. "I told you this dress was perfect on you," he said, his hand sliding down her side. Sarah laughed again, but this time it sounded different, forced, guilty. I wanted to confront them right there, throw my cap down, rip off the glasses and demand an explanation. But I didn't. I watched, and I waited. It wasn't long before they left the bar, disappearing into a quieter corner of the club. They didn't notice me as I followed at a distance, my stomach churning with each step. They stopped by a darkened alcove, and Ryan pulled her into his arms. I watched as he kissed her, his hands gripping her like she was his. That was all I needed to see. I turned on my heel and left the club, walking out into the cool night air. My mind was spinning, rage boiling beneath the surface, but I forced myself to stay calm. I had to be smart about this. I couldn't lose my temper. Not yet. I slid into the car, my hands shaking as I gripped the steering wheel. Sarah had betrayed me. She wasn't just unfaithful, she was doing it with the man I considered a brother. I wasn't sure what hurt more, the betrayal, or the fact that I hadn't seen it coming. But one thing was clear. I wasn't going to let this slide. No. They had made their choice, and now it was time for me to make mine. Revenge wasn't just a possibility, it was a necessity. I started the car, my mind already calculating the next move. Sarah's life was about to change. So was Ryan's. They had no idea what was coming. And when it was over, they'd both wish they had never crossed me. The wheels were already in motion. The drive home is a blur. The road stretches out in front of me, but I barely notice the cars, the streetlights, or even the people spilling out of late-night bars. I can't think straight. Every thought is a collision of anger, hurt, and betrayal. I grip the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles are white, the skin stretched thin over bone. The image of Sarah in Ryan's arms, his lips on hers, keeps replaying in my head. It feels like someone's twisting a knife deeper into my chest with every second that passes. By the time I pull into the driveway, I've made a decision. I'm not confronting her tonight. I need to be smarter than that. I need to plan, to think this through. If I go in there now, all I'll get is lies. Sarah's good at that, good at turning things around, making you doubt what you saw, what you know to be true. And Ryan? He'll play dumb. He'll act like nothing happened. They'll cover for each other, like they've been doing for God knows how long. No, I'm not going to give them that chance. I kill the engine and sit there in the dark, staring at the front door of the house we built together. The house I thought was our future. Now, it feels like a hollow shell, every memory tainted by what I've seen tonight. My phone buzzes in my pocket, dragging me back to the present. It's a message from Sarah. Babe, I'll be home late. Don't wait up. Love you. The gall of it. She's probably still with Ryan, probably still wrapped in his arms while she types out that lie with her fake smile plastered on her face. My stomach turns, and I feel the bile rising in my throat. How long has this been going on? How many times has she come home, kissed me goodnight, and slipped into bed beside me after being with him? I shove the phone back into my pocket. Not tonight. I need to stick to the plan. The house is quiet when I step inside. I head straight to the kitchen, flicking on the small light above the sink. The faint hum of the refrigerator is the only sound in the room as I pull out a beer and sit at the table. I need to calm down, to focus. I pop the cap off, take a long drink, and lean back in the chair, staring at nothing. I've got time. Sarah won't be home for a few more hours, and that's all I need. I pull my phone out again, this time scrolling through my contacts until I find the one I need, Danny. He's an old friend from high school, one of the few guys who stayed loyal through the years. The kind of guy who knows things, who can make things happen without asking too many questions. And right now, I need someone like that. The phone rings twice before he picks up. Yeah. His voice is groggy, like I woke him up, but there's an edge to it. Danny's always ready for something. It's me, I say, keeping my voice low. I need a favor. There's a pause on the other end, the sound of rustling sheets. This about Sarah? I don't answer right away. The fact that Danny's first instinct is to ask about her tells me all I need to know. He's seen something, or heard something. Maybe he even knows. But he won't push unless I'm ready to talk. Yeah, I say finally. It is. You free tomorrow? Another pause. I hear him moving now, probably sitting up in bed. I'm free. What do you need? I'll explain tomorrow. Just, be ready for something big. You still have that contact, the one who can get into things. Yeah, I've still got him. You sure you want to go down this road, man? I take another swig of beer, letting the bitterness sit on my tongue. I'm sure. I'm gonna make her regret this. Him too. Danny doesn't say anything for a few seconds, but when he speaks again, there's a hint of respect in his voice. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. We hang up, and I sit there in the kitchen, staring at my empty beer bottle. The plan is already forming in my head, piece by piece. First, I need proof, undeniable, inescapable proof. Something Sarah and Ryan can't explain away. And then, when I have that, I'll set the rest in motion. Sarah walks in around 2 a.m. I'm still sitting at the kitchen table, my phone in hand, pretending to scroll through the news. The moment she steps through the door, I smell the perfume. It clings to her, mixing with the faint scent of alcohol. She's trying to move quietly, probably hoping not to wake me. Hey, I say, keeping my tone neutral. You're home late. She jumps a little, clearly not expecting me to still be awake. Oh, I didn't think you'd still be up. The party ran late, you know how it is. She's smiling, but it looks forced, her eyes avoiding mine. She kicks off her heels and sets her bag on the counter. Yeah, I reply, keeping my eyes on her. How was it? Fun, she says, too quickly. You know, the usual, lots of drinks, dancing. It was nice to catch up with the girls. I nod slowly, watching her. She won't even look me in the eye. You didn't happen to see Ryan tonight, did you? Her smile falters, just for a split second. But I catch it. Ryan, she repeats, too casual. No, why would I see Ryan? He's at his bachelor party, right? I stare at her for a moment longer, waiting to see if she'll crack. But she's good, too good. She picks up her bag and starts heading toward the stairs. I'm exhausted, she says over her shoulder. I'm gonna head to bed. You coming? In a bit, I reply, watching her disappear up the stairs. The moment she's gone, I pull out my phone and open the tracking app Danny helped me set up earlier. A small red dot appears on the screen, blinking steadily. I smile to myself, feeling the first spark of satisfaction since this nightmare began. Sarah doesn't know it yet, but the game has already started. Tomorrow, I'll follow her. Tomorrow, I'll watch, and I'll wait. And when the time comes, I'll strike. Revenge is coming. And it's going to be beautiful. The next morning, I'm already awake by the time Sarah stirs beside me. The early light filters through the blinds, casting long shadows across the room. I can hear her breathing, slow and even, as she stretches and turns toward me. My eyes stay fixed on the ceiling, mind racing with the events of last night. It's almost surreal, lying here next to her, knowing what I know now. She yawns and rolls closer, resting a hand on my chest. Morning, she says softly, her voice still thick with sleep. I force myself to smile, turning to face her. Morning. She snuggles against me, the same routine we've gone through for years. But it feels different now, empty, hollow. She doesn't know I've already set the wheels in motion, that I'm watching her, tracking her every move. Today is the day I start unraveling the lies, bit by bit. The trap is laid, and all I need to do is wait. What time are you heading out today? I ask, keeping my voice casual as I sit up, slipping out of bed. She stretches lazily and pulls the sheets around her. I've got some errands to run later. Might grab coffee with a couple of the girls afterward. Nothing exciting. I nod, keeping my eyes on her as I pull on my jeans. Sounds nice. I've got some work to catch up on, so I'll be out for most of the day, too. She smiles, sitting up to check her phone. I watch her closely, but her expression doesn't change as she scrolls through her messages. Nothing suspicious. But then again, she wouldn't be stupid enough to text Ryan when I'm in the room. Not anymore. I leave the house not long after she does. As soon as I'm out the door, I pull out my phone and open the app. The blinking red dot representing Sarah's location is already on the move. She's sticking to her story for now, heading toward the usual shopping district where she meets her friends. But I know today isn't about coffee with the girls. Not after last night. I follow her at a distance, making sure to keep well behind her car. My heart is pounding, the anger from last night still simmering just below the surface. But I push it down. I need to stay focused, methodical. If I let my emotions take over, I'll blow this. And then she'll get away with it, just like she's probably gotten away with it so many times before. Sarah's car takes a sharp turn down a side street, and I slow down, keeping a safe distance. She's not heading toward the coffee shop. My grip on the steering wheel tightens as I watch her car pull into the parking lot of a boutique hotel. Small, discreet. The kind of place where people go to hide things. I park my car at a nearby lot, far enough away that she won't notice me. Then I wait. She doesn't get out of the car right away. I watch as she pulls down the visor, checking her reflection in the mirror. She's touching up her makeup, fixing her hair, preparing. My stomach churns. She never does this much work for a simple coffee date with her friends. 5 minutes pass, then 10. Finally, she steps out of the car, glancing around quickly before heading inside the hotel. She's dressed casually enough, jeans, a nice blouse, but there's an unmistakable nervous energy about her. I slip out of my car and follow, keeping to the shadows, out of sight. Inside, the hotel lobby is small, quiet. I stay near the back, watching as Sarah walks up to the reception desk. She's careful, speaking in a low voice, but I catch the key card the clerk slides across the counter. Room 204. She heads for the elevator, and I follow a few steps behind. The elevator doors close just as I reach them, but that's fine. I don't need to ride up with her. I already know where she's going. The anger rises again, but this time it feels different, cold, calculated. I've got her. She thinks she's clever, thinks she's covering her tracks, but I'm 2 steps ahead now. I take the stairs, climbing slowly, methodically. By the time I reach the second floor, the hallway is empty. Room 204 is at the end of the corridor. I approach quietly, my heart pounding louder with each step. I can hear muffled voices through the door, though I can't make out what they're saying. I don't need to. I know what's happening in there. Ryan's car is parked just outside, not far from Sarah's. He's here. Of course he's here. And they're together, like always. I take out my phone and dial Danny. The line picks up after the second ring. Yo, Danny says, his voice low. You there? I'm outside the room now, I whisper. They're in there together. Danny pauses for a moment. You ready for this? Yeah. My voice is steady, even though every muscle in my body is tensed. Let's do it. Danny's already made the arrangements. He's good at things like this, good at setting up situations that leave no room for denials, no room for escape. I'd asked him to be discreet, to keep it simple. Just a few photos, a video maybe, something undeniable, something I can use later. But now, standing outside that door, I'm tempted to do more. To kick the door down and confront them both right here, right now. But I won't. Not yet. Hold tight, Danny says. I'm sending the guy in 5 minutes. You get what you need, then we move to the next step. I nod, even though he can't see me. Got it. I end the call and lean against the wall, waiting. The minutes drag by, every second stretching out like an eternity. Finally, I hear footsteps coming down the hall. A man in a maintenance uniform passes by, giving me a quick nod as he heads toward room 204. He taps on the door, and I hear Sarah's voice inside. She sounds annoyed, probably assuming it's hotel staff. A few seconds later, the door opens, and I catch a glimpse of Ryan's face over her shoulder. It takes every ounce of control I have not to storm in right then and there. But instead, I stay hidden, watching as the maintenance guy slips a small device into the corner of the room, barely noticeable, unless you know it's there. He gives me a quick thumbs up as he walks past, and I nod. It's done. The proof is there. I head back down the stairs, feeling the tension slowly drain from my body. I've got them now. I've got everything I need. When I get outside, I pull out my phone and dial Danny again. It's done, I say, my voice steady. What's next? Danny's voice crackles through the line. Next. We start taking them apart, piece by piece. I smile for the first time all day. Good. I can almost hear Danny grinning on the other end. Welcome to the game, brother. Now let's make sure they both lose. I sit in the car, staring at the phone in my hand. The video from the hotel plays on a loop, the tiny screen lighting up the dark interior. Sarah's laugh echoes through the speakers, sickeningly familiar. Ryan's voice follows, low and intimate. I can't stand to hear it, but I watch the whole thing again, Sarah in his arms, the two of them tangled together like they're living in some fantasy that doesn't involve me. It's undeniable. I have everything I need. This isn't just betrayal. It's a knife in the back, and they've both twisted it deep. Danny's words play over in my mind, now let's make sure they both lose. It's not enough to just confront them. That would be too easy. Too clean. No, they need to feel what I feel, broken, shattered, humiliated. I take a deep breath and start the car. I've already planned the next step. Tonight is about revenge, and I'm going to be ruthless. Back home, I pour myself a drink and sit at the kitchen table, waiting. Sarah's going to walk through that door any minute now, clueless, believing that her secret is still safe. But I've set everything up for tonight. It's going to be perfect. The front door creaks open, and I hear the familiar sound of Sarah kicking off her shoes. She walks into the kitchen, her phone in hand, barely noticing me at first. Oh, hey, she says, glancing up with a smile that makes my stomach churn. You're home early. I don't respond, just swirl the whiskey in my glass, watching her. The silence stretches for a few seconds too long, and she frowns, sensing something off. She tucks her hair behind her ear, trying to keep the smile on her face, but it's faltering. You okay? She asks, taking a step closer. Rough day. I set the glass down carefully, the sound of it hitting the table louder than it should be in the quiet room. Yeah, I say slowly, meeting her gaze. You could say that. Her brow furrows, and she tilts her head slightly, like she's trying to read me. What's wrong? I don't answer right away. Instead, I pull out my phone, unlock it, and turn the screen toward her. The video from the hotel plays in full view. Her eyes widen, and she takes a step back, her hand flying to her mouth. No, it's not what it looks like, she stammers, her voice cracking. I can explain. I stand up, towering over her. The rage I've been holding back for days finally spills over, and I can't stop it. Explain. You're going to explain this? I jabbed the phone in her direction, my voice rising. I've seen everything, Sarah. I know. I know what you've been doing behind my back with him. She backs up, hitting the counter, tears welling up in her eyes. Please, it's not what you think. Don't lie to me. I shout, my voice echoing through the house. I watched you, Sarah. I followed you. I saw everything. She covers her face with her hands, sobbing now. I didn't mean for it to happen, Ryan and it just. I cut her off, my voice cold and sharp. It just what? You accidentally fell into bed with my best friend? Is that your excuse? Sarah sobs harder, sliding down the wall, her body shaking. Please, I'm so sorry, she cries, her voice breaking. It was a mistake. I love you, I swear. I laugh bitterly, the sound harsh in the room. Love me? You call this love? You've destroyed everything, Sarah. Everything. She looks up at me, her face streaked with tears, desperation in her eyes. We can fix this. We can. There's no fixing this, I say, my voice deadly calm. You made your choice. And now, you're going to pay for it. Before she can respond, the front door swings open, and Ryan walks in. He freezes when he sees us, his eyes darting between me and Sarah. What the hell is going on? He demands, his voice shaky. I turn to face him, and for the first time in years, I feel nothing but pure hatred for the man standing in front of me. You should have stayed away, Ryan. You should have known better. Ryan steps forward, trying to act like he's in control, but I see the fear in his eyes. Look, man, we can talk about this. It's not what you think. Save it, I snap. I know exactly what it is. You and Sarah. It's all out in the open now. Ryan looks at Sarah, who's still crumpled on the floor, then back at me. He takes a step forward, his hands raised defensively. Listen, we didn't mean for this to happen. It just. I cut him off with a laugh. You think I care about your excuses? You think I'm going to just let you walk out of here after what you've done? Ryan glances toward the door, like he's thinking about running. But it's too late for that. I pull out the second phone, the one Danny gave me, and hit play on the audio recording. Ryan's voice fills the room. He'll never find out. We've got this under control. Just keep playing your part, and we'll be fine. Ryan's face drains of color. Sarah's sobbing grows louder, her face buried in her hands. You didn't think I'd catch you, did you? I say, my voice low. You thought you could play me for a fool. Ryan steps back, shaking his head. This isn't. I'm done with both of you, I say coldly. You ruined everything, so now, I'm going to ruin you. Ryan stumbles back toward the door, panic rising in his eyes. Man, don't do something you'll regret. Oh, I won't regret this, I say, my voice filled with venom. Not for a second. I hit send on my phone. Within moments, the photos, videos, and audio recordings of Sarah and Ryan's affair are on their way to everyone they know, family, friends, coworkers. Their lives are about to implode. Ryan's phone buzzes in his pocket, and I see the horror spread across his face as he checks it. What did you do? He whispers, his voice shaking. I made sure everyone knows exactly who you both are, I say. I made sure there's no coming back from this. Sarah screams from the floor, her face twisted in agony. Why? Why would you do this? Because you betrayed me, I say, my voice calm now, almost detached. You broke us. And now, you'll live with the consequences. Ryan bolts for the door, but it's too late. The damage is done. I turn away from him, ignoring Sarah's sobs as I head for the stairs. I don't need to hear their excuses anymore. It's over. I pack my bags in silence, the weight of what I've done settling in. There's no satisfaction, no sense of victory. Just emptiness. Sarah's sobs echo through the house, and I can still hear Ryan yelling outside as he tries to make sense of what's just happened. I take one last look at the house we built together, the life we had, and walk out the door. I don't look back.